Alright, so we timed another Maisara Caverns, and this time it's a plus 22. In fact, I first tried this, started up my stream, joined this group on my first application, jumped into the key, and one-shot it without any big issues. I didn't play it perfectly, I had some very, very stupid deaths, but overall, I mean, as long as you can manage to time a 22 at this point, I mean, you're playing good enough, right? But I could have played it much better, but I'm still going to show you this run because it's very fun, first off, and I think you guys can learn a lot of it. First off, these are the talents, and as you can see, I've decided to go for the full Apex build this run, which I usually never do, as you guys might know, and there's simply two reasons for it. First off, I just wanted to give it a try again, since it garnered a good amount of popularity in the last few days, and I wanted to get some reps in before this build becomes the meta build in Season 2. More on that on the guide that is gonna come out close to Season 2's release date. And second, after tons of Maisara Caverns runs in these high key levels, I've realized that Sundering just isn't really that great here, as there's a lot of prio targets that you need to funnel more damage into, and a lot of times tanks do like 3 big pulls in a row. Both of those scenarios are where the full Apex build just shines more, in my opinion. So that's the reason why. Damage-wise, it will still be like the same overall, maybe a little bit better on the full Apex build side, but the difference is so minute that you can still play both. I just prefer the full Apex build in this specific dungeon. All right, let's hop into the run. All right, so the key starts. I recorded it a little bit late, but I pressed Descendants right before the key started, so I get 10 Maelstrom weapon stacks just to get a little bit of a head start. I give the tank the Windrush totem, so he just groups up the mobs faster. And this is just your usual like Bloodlust opener in Maisara Caverns, right? Nothing really different, just like the usual. I tend to press defensives here nowadays because there's like random bullshit that flies your way sometimes. And before you just die to like 2 spears hitting you, you just press your defensive and you should be safe. Now always make sure to kick the headhunter. You should always mark this target at the beginning of the pull and just kick it whenever it flies away. Most of the time you are the only one that has a ranged kick. So always just track wherever it is, and if it starts casting, you just kick it. You will have your kick up every single time it casts. So there's no reason not to kick it. Just makes the life of your team way easier, right? And then we go up this hill. This is a optimized route where you pull like 3 big packs in a row, which is why I said that Sundering isn't as good as the full Apex build. We just stand here for a while to so the tank can get his cooldowns back up, and once those cooldowns are back up, we go into the little hut before we pull the Mammoth, so he doesn't take unnecessary damage. And once everything is gathered, you optimally put down your stun totem and start funneling down, or start focusing down the hulking Juggernaut. Now this hulking Juggernaut is very, very dangerous. As you can see, tank almost died, even though he had a defensive up. I didn't take a lot of damage because first off, the healer's goated. The healer like babysat me most of the time, which is why I survived most of these things. But I would still, however, even if you know that your healer's gonna camp you or babysit you, you should always press your Astral Shift on the first Deafening Roar cast and your Earth Elemental on the second one. And if you think that you would still die on the second one, you just sit in Ghost Wolf for 4 seconds, get yourself the 20% damage reduction. It's like, it's cringe, but what can you do? Or optimally, you kick one of the targets that is like in the group, so you get your Wind Veil buff, which also reduces the damage you take, right? Sometimes even that is not enough. So at the end of the day, you will still have to be babysat by the healer, right? There's no other way, unfortunately. I kind of like it. I kind of like no sundering right now. I don't know what it is. Now this pull is kind of awkward for Enhancement Shamans because you have a 2-minute cooldown, and when the pack is gathered, you still have like 30 to 20 seconds cooldown on your Ascendant still, so you kind of don't really do any damage up until that point. Your main focus is just stunning the ads and kicking everything you can just to make your like team's life easier. And once you have Ascendants, you just start blasting as you always do. Use your puzzle box, use your Ascendants, and then go ham, right? Use Crash Lightning on cooldown so your Storm Strikes become AoE. And always make sure to dodge the Eagles. On these high key levels, the Eagles will like blow you up, right? Like 2 slashes will probably kill you if you are not careful enough. Just keep track on where they are facing. The ability is just a frontal. You can stun them, but your best case scenario is just taking a step to the left or to the right and just dodging the frontal, right? Otherwise, you'll just die very quickly, even if you press your defensive. Solid team. I like it. We incapped that patrolling guy, and usually you just ring him away, but he was already far enough away. And since we want to avoid the 2 headhunters patrolling like up and down this way, you just go wherever they currently aren't. This time it was on the right side, so we squeezed along the right side. We skip every single pack here, and you might wonder why, but you'll see it in a bit if you haven't. If you haven't seen it, this is pretty fun. If you do these high keys, you might have seen some tanks pull this off. It is a pretty like funky snapping tech that is pretty common in like keys above 21, I feel like. Now, as you can see, tank is somewhere up there pulling all of these mobs. And eventually all of these mobs will just start snapping on into the arena close to the tank and just stand there, evade for a few seconds, and then like regain consciousness and become an actual like AI again. So this way you just have insane funnel on the like during the boss fight. You save a ton of time because you just like pull these 2-3 packs into the fight, right? And you just cleave them down during the entire fight. And you just save tons of time this way. Just make sure that every single one of your DPS or every single one of the Shadowbinders has a kick assigned. If one of these casts go through, if you somehow survive these casts, you will get stunned and die, just like I did right now, because I didn't see the little circle on the floor. It was pretty unfortunate. As I said, didn't play it my best, but I'm just going to use the excuse that I am sick, or I was sick during that time. Now, this fight is honestly pretty easy. You don't really have to do anything. Just make sure that you keep your distance whenever Necrax charges someone, because the hitbox of Necrax becomes like double its own size, and it will hit you even if you are behind him. So if you are not the one being targeted, make sure to just move away from Necrax as it's like casting the ability. And once it's charged, once the charge is like gone and the mob is stunned, you can go back in. But just make sure that you like keep your distance. And some people still don't know, but whenever Necrax casts the like volley thingy where it just spews out many small circles like this one to feed it coolstone, there will never be circles beneath him. So you just go out the initial big circle and stand close to the edge. Once that's gone, you just run back into the boss again. And that way you just dodge the entire mechanic without like having to worry about getting hit. I still got hit earlier because I'm dumb, but you know, it's a mechanic that you can make use of if you are not like as stupid as me. I get no Doomwinds procs, man. Not a single one. Zero. I think I got one Doomwinds during the entire fight. How am I still in combat, by the way? Now here, there's a cool little thingy where you can purge one of the shields of the skeletons, which usually deal damage to the entire group. But if those mobs are not in combat while you do it, they just don't deal any damage to you. So you can purge the first shield without taking any damage, which is quite nice. And you can do that on every single mob that comes like after this part, right? Every single mob that you can dispel won't deal any damage to you if that specific mob is not in combat with you or with anyone. And you can just save your healer some stress this way. It's a neat little trick that people discovered during the season. Here, you just make sure that you kick one of those tormented shades. You can't kick them all the time, but just make sure that as little casts go through as possible. You focus down the bound defender here, click Bloodlust. You can ignore the mini boss, doesn't really do much besides like the sacrifice thingy and the like black hole pull-in stuff. You can get out of the sacrifice thingy with your spirit walk, but for whatever reason you cannot use Jetstream or the shapeshift talent. I don't quite know why, but it just doesn't work. So the only way you can escape from it is spirit walk, and if you get targeted by it twice, well, gotta start praying that someone's gonna notice, or just scream in chat and ask for like a tiger's lust or something so you can get out, otherwise you'll die. Now during this pack, you should focus on purging the shields. Don't do them all at once. Just do one after the other. Like purge one, wait until your team is healed up again. Purge the other one, wait until your team is healed up again. Purge the rest, like, and so on and so forth. Right? Rinse and repeat. If you purge all of them at once or like back to back, the healer probably won't be able to keep up with all of the damage taken, and your tank will most likely die. So, or if your tank doesn't die, your team will die. So you don't want that. How was your stream? Thank you for the follow. Was good. Also doing Enhanced Shaman. Was gearing my Enhance. Hell yeah, man. How are you enjoying Enhancement? What's this? What's going on here? Huh? Wait, what? Now this pack after the like Bloodlust pull, after the initial, like after we cleared this entire area, this gets dangerous. You first off take care of the shields again, purge one after the other, as I said. Make sure that your team isn't low while you purge them, and focus on the big caster guy, the Hollow Soul Render. Now you can remove the Frost Nova that it casts once again with Spirit Walk, with nothing else for whatever reason. It's really funky, really inconsistent. What you can remove and what you can't remove with things like Jetstream, but make sure to focus it down. Make sure to kick it whenever you can. If you have Ascendance up at this point, you can use Ascendance again, but you should probably not have it up if your team is quick enough. And if it's in a situation like this, where the mobs are still like alive, but kind of falling down and falling apart, and the tank is already starting to move on, you can just ignore Ascendance, keep it up for a bit until the next pull, which is once again going to be big. Dodge the tornadoes, obviously. I don't do that for like testing the skills of my healer, I guess. But yeah, I don't do that. You should do it. I always have struggled with these tornadoes for whatever reason. I feel like they are homing missiles targeting you. Sometimes I'm scared that it's gonna like fly through my window and like get me in my room, but didn't happen yet. And yeah, just as I said, make sure to purge the shields. When those Gloom Wings are pulled, you need to stay away from the tank. If you stand behind the tank, if you stand right next to the tank, if you stand anywhere close to the tank, and those Gloom Wings start casting the like frontal like laser beam thingies, you will blow up. There is no way you can survive those in these high keys. The piercing screeches will genuinely pierce through you, hit the tank, and kill you on the way. Just make sure to stand to the side of the mobs, not the tanks. Stand to the side of the mobs, so you are never at risk of getting hit by those screeches. Also, you can stand behind the mobs, but sometimes it's really difficult to like get back to the pack if you're fighting this like Naldin. As you saw, if this guy didn't die, there would have been a massive puddle in front of me, and I would have had to patrol like all the way around the circle to get back to the pack. So it's way easier to stand to the side and just make sure that you're not in front of the tank or behind the tank or anywhere close to those screeches that go through. Here, the tank does a very interesting route. I've never seen this before. I said it during the live stream as well. This is a very interesting route. I thought he was like crazy and tripping, but it actually makes sense since you just skip the caster guy and the other tornado spawner boy, and you just fight another Naldin, which is arguably just easier than those two, right? Now here, I kind of mess up. I get a Doomwinds proc and like walk backwards. I could have just stood right to the side and nothing would have happened. But I didn't quite know the circle's range. Or if it would hit me, I guess. I often don't trust the hitboxes of Blizzard. because there has been a lot of times where the hitbox just is visually smaller than the actual hitbox. So I just stay a little bit further back, and this time I just went backwards. And here I went closer to the team, because first off, the bats are gone, so there's no risk of me getting one-shot by some frontal. And like, my brain worked for a few seconds. So we just pull all of the right wing into the boss, because first off, they don't really do much. Those are just reanimated warriors. And the ritual hexer can just get kicked by everybody. There's no real risk of putting them into the fight. It's free funnel, and optimally, you never want to kick these warriors. They will reanimate, which is good during this boss fight. As long as they are alive, you get more funnel. And warriors especially profit off of funnel very, very much. So it's just a like increased damage, right? You would want this, but I think we kick every single one of them here. But if you can communicate to the team, you can just tell them to not kick those animated warriors. As you can see, we kicked them all and nothing was left. This fight is very difficult to survive, by the way, as a shaman. You take pulsing damage during the entire fight. It's just a mechanic that is constantly active. You take massive damage when the ghosts explode, and you take massive pulsing damage during this necrotic convergence phase. If you don't get a Doomwind's proc here, you will just have to pray for your life and hope that everyone is dealing enough damage that the boss just loses its shield and you can just start kicking, right? We fortunately get it done. I panic, still manage to dodge all of those balls somehow, and we just keep fighting the boss. And we eventually pulled another set of reanimated warriors just to get more funnel in again. We do the tech where we usually like paralyze these ads, and the tank just soaks one of them, and the other one just stays there until the next set of ghosts spawn, where it will just instantly explode since it's touching the new set of spirits. Kind of complicated, but saves a little bit of time and like reduces the damage intake that you get during the entire fight, right? Now in 22s, something changes. Usually you bloodlust at the last boss after the like intermission thingy. In this case, we decided to bloodlust right here during the second necrotic convergence phase thingy. As you can see, I am gonna get pinged in a bit. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get pinged right here, and then I see this as a cue of me pressing bloodlust. I do die here because I don't have my defensive up. I mean, I pressed it right here, but it was too late. I was already too low, and I couldn't heal myself because I didn't have a health pot. I could have used Healing Surge twice, I guess, but I really greeded for the damage and wanted to like optimize my ascendance as much as I can without losing any uptime, and maybe like get the shield gone before like I die. That was my theory. Wasn't enough. Healer couldn't keep up with the damage that I got that I took, and I fell. I got B-rest quite instantly though. Couldn't take it instantly because there was like those balls still rotating around. I waited for them to be gone, and then I took it, and then we were good to go. Now, boss is dead. And from this point onward, I kind of knew that this key was already timed. Now, I die one more time. I'm going to say it right now. I die one more time because of a very, very dumb reason. But I basically instantly revived myself without losing any damage. Fortunately, I didn't like press Ascendance or something. We ring this pack so we can be able to squeeze ourselves through this pack. And first off, save time. Second, we don't need that count anymore. We already like have enough with these mobs. And I get to purging the shields again. And once that's done, you just make sure that you don't get hit by tornadoes. You make sure that you don't get hit by the frontal of the Gloomwing Bat. And you press Ascendance whenever it is up right here. I kind of panic during this like fight because there's a tornado. I'm trying to dodge it. It's still like found its way into my ass. And I got hit, almost got flinged off the like bridge, which would have been detrimental. I could have not come back from like the respawn point, and we would have lost a lot of time. Fortunately, that didn't happen. I pressed my Ascendance. I started blasting the Bound Defender, and once that boy was gone, there was only one more dangerous mob that was ahead of us, which can end keys really, really quickly, especially if you underestimate the damage the mini-boss takes. I'm not talking about the boss, I'm talking about the little drum guy that is right before the boss. Doesn't have a lot of health, but deals like a tremendous amount of damage, man. I put down a Windrush Totem right here, just so we can have like the initial movement speed. Bear roars, gives us more movement speed. I jump into it, press my defensive, because I know if I don't, I will just explode randomly, because I am an Enhancement Shaman. Monk does insane work though. He bubbles me, he puts up shields on everybody, he heals everybody, keeps almost everyone full life at all times. He was really cracked. You can say that he carried me, I guess, but that's how like Enhancement Shaman works in these high keys. You need to get babysit. Now, there's going to be a death here, which I'm really not proud of, but it's just so unlucky. I jump right here, I don't see the circles, and I jump straight into the circle and die. Now, this is one of the cringiest deaths that I have ever had. But dying this way gave me a Doomwinds, which I will say is quite worth it, honestly. I made up the 15 seconds that I lost my team by getting a Doomwinds proc. Almost dying here once again, by the way, because I don't like press my Earth Elemental and get sucked into the totem. But I get myself together, and from this point onward, I play pretty solid. I don't die at all. I use my cooldowns effectively. I didn't quite know if I should use Ascendance at the beginning of the pull, because we just don't have Bloodlust anymore, right? I die here once again, almost, by the way. There was like 1 pixel that was off the totem. If I was sucked in a little bit more, I would have died. Anyway, I didn't. Anyway, I didn't know if I was supposed to press Ascendance. I didn't, to just wait for this intermission phase where you deal increased damage. Now, this phase, you're completely useless, by the way. You have 1 kick, that's it. You cannot use the Capacitor Totem because the mob that you're going to put it on is most likely going to be gone by the time it explodes. You just have to like kick 1 guy and just move on, right? And then you get out of the Spirit Realm thingy, you use your Ascendance and your Puzzle Box, and you go crazy ham. You deal as much damage as you can. Now, we don't have Bloodlust, as you can tell. We Bloodlusted the second boss to survive and kill it, which means we will be needing 2 intermission phases right here during this boss fight. Now at this point, I basically knew that the fight was over because the moment we got back, the boss was gonna die during the like soul expulsion phase where he takes increased damage. I just knew it was over. It was GG's, and I was honestly flabbergasted. I was very sick. I had like I had my nose stuffed with toilet paper so I wouldn't have to clean it during the run. I was pretty invested into this run, honestly. I was locked in, but as I said, I was sick. I got distracted a lot by that, but we managed to kill it, and we timed our second 22. Now we are sitting at 4037 rating, which hopefully should be enough for 1% after all of the boosting that's going to happen close to the like end of the season, like on the last week. Hope that will be enough, and we will see. If you guys want to see more of these runs, let me know by liking this video and commenting down below. Subscribe to the channel while you're down there, and thank you guys for watching. I will see you on the next one.